Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update this place daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the 2018 1500-piece limited edition Seiko Prospex Diver Hi-Beat SLA025, a stainless steel limited edition tribute to the 1968 Seiko Hi-Beat Diver, the reference 6159-7001. This watch surpasses the original in every way, but it also, perhaps unintentionally, rivals in-house Grand Seiko for quality, features, and even style. This might be the most deluxe pure Seiko you can purchase. On my wrist, it has an imposing stance. It's a big watch, make no mistake. In the modern mode, the watch is just over 44 millimeters, so 44.5 millimeters in diameter. It is thick, no doubt. Perhaps not as thick as you imagine, though. At only 15.3 millimeters, the sheer side exaggerates the thickness of the watch. It looks taller than it is. From lug to lug, it's a wearable watch at 51 millimeters, and you'll find that the vintage-inspired narrow 19 millimeter lug spacing will give you a bevy of aftermarket and OEM options, but I happen to love the fact that it looks wonderfully vintage. One of the hallmarks of modern watches is broader lug stances, and I think this is probably the most effective single element that Seiko has implemented to recall the vintage model on which this is based. Now, you will note that the strap is silicone with a pyramid imprint on the top, and on the underside you can see a larger pyramid imprint to help lift it off the wrist and vent the wrist on a hot day. This being silicone rather than vulcanized rubber, it is gummy. It is incredibly soft and thus very comfortable. Will it last as long as vulcanized rubber? No, but after 2 or 3 years, whatever, 50, 60 bucks, you replace it. The comfort that you'll enjoy during the intermediate time is worth the price of admission. Deluxe features here, a metal strap minder loop. Look at that. That is metal, and that is black, and that is satin finished. It even features polished bevels on its edges. It's almost too nice to use. The buckle is simple, but even slightly stylized in its own right, with a little bit of a faceted end profile, full polish, and a curvature about its flanks that nicely echoes some of the curves of the caseband. Now, you will note that the caseband features a completely seamless, let's see if I can get the focus a little bit better, but a completely seamless form. If you turn the watch over, you'll wonder, where is the case back? Well, there isn't one. What you're looking at is the watch. It's a monoblock, and thus part of the dying breed of front loaders. A historically true design and engineering element, it helps this watch to achieve not just its 300-meter water resistance, but also its immunity to helium intrusion. So thanks to the monoblock case and special seals, Seiko says you don't need a helium escape valve because there is no egress, because there is no ingress. So it's effectively helium proof. So no need for a helium escape valve. That's for porous machines from the likes of Omega and Rolex. You'll also note that the caseband seems just a bit more ornately finished or more elaborately polished than what you'll see on a standard Seiko, and that's because it's been treated to the same Zaratsu hand-guided tin plate polishing technique, the optically smooth artisanal technique used on Grand Seiko watches. So this is already punching above its weight with the same finish that you'll find on a Grand Seiko, and a complex case form that blends sharp character lines and sensuous and incredibly complex compound curves. Each side of this watch looks like a funhouse mirror. The underside, all of satin finish, and you can see minimally branded with the individual numbering. It lets you know that you're wearing something special. How special? Well, 8L55 is a Seiko adaptation of a Grand Seiko movement, which is why this is the Hi-Beat Diver. 36,000 vibrations per hour, hacking seconds, quick set date, 55-hour power reserve. This is an awesome machine inside and out. The dial, more richly appointed than you might expect, with gold-plated hands as well as dial furniture. All of the indices are applied, and the date window is framed with a finished metal aperture. You'll also note the lovingly nicknamed and historically correct traffic light style luminescent bob at the end of the seconds hand. This was a feature of vintage Seiko divers, and you'd even see it on a few quirky European divers of the time, like the Jaeger 20 ATM French-built dive watch sold by Jaeger-LeCoultre. The bezel features an ADLC insert. It's actually aluminum with ADLC on top, so robustly scratch resistant, not quite as much as ceramic, but it also doesn't have fracture the fracture susceptibility of ceramic. Now, it has a very refined action, 120 clicks. It's basically like a Blancpain 50 Fathoms, a Rolex Submariner, or perhaps, once again, most comparable to a Grand Seiko product. Line up the minute hand with the luminescent pearl, which is nicely fit beneath the plane of the bezel for ultimate protection against shearing. And you've got an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. The dial base is matte finished for resistance to glare, and you will note that the crystal itself is nicely recessed below the plane of the bezel for an extra measure of protection against shattering. The knurling on the flank of the bezel is incredibly tall, and it's sharp, so you can easily grip it when your hands are wet, sweaty, or gloved. This watch puts it all together, inside and outside, a limited series and a great one. This is the Seiko SLA025. See it on the watch box. And we're back with the Seiko SLA025. All three hands loomed, plenty of lume on the dial, plenty of lume on the bezel. See it by day on the watch box.